What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 54 on my road to 700 pounds on bench press. So I am getting very close to 10,000 subscribers. I am so humbled by this. I cannot believe that I went from like 300 subscribers just about a year and a half ago to almost 10,000. I am so blessed to have you guys wanting to follow along on my journey. If you guys don't know about me yet, definitely go back and check out some of my older videos. I'm sure you'll like to see kind of how a day in the life looks with a 700-pound bench presser, or at least potential 700-pound bench presser. I'd like to be the lightest guy ever to do 700 pounds at under 300 or right at 300 pounds. But definitely follow along on my journey. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, because I'm going to try to get you guys a weekly video that covers all of my recaps for what I'm doing as far as my accessory work, definitely my main sets, and kind of how I think and feel throughout my training. Some of it will cover kind of my family life or what I'm eating, and Q&As and things like that. But I try to give you guys kind of a backstage pass to what it's like to be an elite level power lifter in today. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys kind of about this last week. If you've watched last week's recap, you saw the 585 for 3. Didn't quite move the way I liked it to move. Typically what we do in my training is if everything moves smoothly, we just move up to the next progression, which is in this case probably would have been about 600 for 3. But I am very in tune with how I feel. Definitely was feeling some tendonitis and some aches and pains and things like that. And that could have been just some residual from the meet. But either way, I definitely convey that to my coach. And he asked me, do you feel comfortable doing 600 for 3 this upcoming week? And I said, honestly, I've kind of been thinking about it. I said, if the 585 for 3 would have moved flawlessly, then absolutely I'd be 100% confident. And he said, well, what do you feel 100% confident in hitting this week? And so I kind of thought about it for a minute. And like I said numerous times before, I am not an ego lifter. If I was, I'd say 600 for 3, let's go for it. But knowing that 5 pounds can make all the difference in the world, I said, let's go ahead and make it 595 for 3, and then we can just progress from there if everything moves fine. In the back of my mind, I'm still thinking about possibly doing a meet. I'd love to do a meet maybe in the middle of November, before the end of the year, for bench only. Obviously, I've just done a full meet. I want to let my legs rest a little bit. Still not quite sure how the back is going to hold up for deadlifts, because that's how I kind of tore my lat a little bit. Seems to be 100%, but don't want to take any chances, at least this early on. Haven't done any deadlifts yet. Squats, I'm okay with kind of keeping in, because I think they complement my bench quite a bit, but I don't want to go super heavy if I don't need to, especially if everything's going well with bench only. But so the plan this week is 595 for a triple, working on some accessory work after that, and then a little bit of legs, and I think we'll move on from there. But this week will really be a pivotal week in determining what happens next. Do I go ahead and go full force into a meet, and do we keep progressing up, or do we kind of lay back and relax a little bit? But let's jump into the recap video this week and check out what happened. So day 1 here, my heavy bench and upper accessory day, showing you guys last couple of warm-ups. Got 405 on the bar, got my Massonomics brand Don't Curl In Me shirt, and it is really a hot item. Go over to Massonomics.com, check those guys out, or at Massonomics on Instagram. Got their famous lift shorts on. These things cost me a fortune, but it's worth it because it adds pounds to your lifts. At least that's what I've heard. Nice controlled descent, and I'm feeling pretty good about the speed. Definitely not my fastest 405, but I like how that felt. Moving on here, got Justin Dubs here over at Dubs Barbell in Spring, Texas, giving me a lift off spot, some motivation here. 495 on the bar, getting amped up. Really getting that knurling in. Last week you might have saw the new Texas Power Bar, Cerakoted bar, and this week I've got my my regular Texas Power Bar. Really like this thing. Got great knurling on it. Use this for a kind of sentimental and a good luck charm, if you will. I've had some of my best lifts with this bar. 495, smoking hot. I felt really good about that. So today, like I said, 595 for 3 is the top set that we're going to go for. I wanted to hit this 585 for a really fast, solid single before moving on to 595 for a triple, just to get the CNS primed and ready to go. Getting a good lift off here. A little shaky, and just something stuck there. Just did not feel right. Got a little stuck here. Everything's good, but we're just underneath the pins. Had to hold it there for a little bit. My triceps at this point are pretty much on fire. Walked away a little bit disappointed. Obviously, a warm-up going like that really makes me reconsider and not go forward with my main set of 595 for a triple. A little bit frustrated, not sure what to take of this. Kind of backed it down just to get some reps in. Trying to salvage the day. Went ahead and just kind of did a little bit of winging it here. I'd be lying to you if I wasn't concerned going into this workout how things were going to feel. Joints are definitely achy. Feeling some, you can see my arms are shaking a little bit more than normal. CNS is definitely is rested, but something's going on with my fatigue level, and I just don't feel real confident with the weight. Could be a number of things, but went ahead and just did a few sets, paused here with 315. Was just really kind of, at this point, figuring that this day was not going to go the way I wanted, and I was just going to get whatever work I could in and salvage my time. At this point, I've pretty much given up on doing a meet. At least I think that's a smart thing to do, because things are not clicking right. We definitely can't progress forward, but that felt great. I wanted to try 405 and just blasted it up faster than I did the first rep a while ago. Now I'm excited. It's weird. I'm thinking, well, maybe I just didn't get enough warm-up. So we're going to go ahead and slap on 495 here, and we're going to see how this feels. And at this point, I'm sort of kind of thinking maybe I just wasn't warm, and why don't we just go ahead and smash this 595 for 3 again? Maybe just something was off. So here we go. We're going to go with 495 warm-up again after a lot of reps with 315 and just kind of maybe burning out a little bit, but everything seems fine. Here we go. Nice, steady descent and blast off. I mean, that's one of my fastest 495s there is. So here I am getting excited. I'm getting in the zone mentally. I feel good. I know I'm sore, but I'm trying to see if I can salvage some here. And let's go ahead and take this 585 again and see what we can do. Let's see if we can go ahead and just make the rip and grip and just smash this weight, and then we'll go up to 595 and hit it for a triple, and we'll go ahead and save the day. Let's see what happens. Perfect lift off here. Justin Dubs as always. Feels good. And no. Set it down on the pins. I'm safe, don't worry. I got up underneath the safety bars there, come out unscathed. And at this point, I know it's over. I know there's just absolutely no way I'm going to be able to salvage this meet prep potential. I wasn't all in for it anyways. We're definitely feeling the waters. So moving on to getting some back work here. Wanted to get as much, what I could get done today. A little bit here. This is just a little bit more of weight on the seal rows. Feeling definitely discouraged. That's just normal. But I wasn't sure what was going to come out of today anyways. Wasn't my best day in the gym, that's for sure. But definitely try to salvage it twice, if you will. I didn't want to give it up. But at this point, what I'm basically thinking is we're going to probably need to back off the weight a little bit and get some more. See, even this, just picking those up, my elbows were burning. And this is definitely not the same weight that I had on the flies last week. So I definitely feel like my body is telling me it's time to back off a little bit. Not sure if it's just more of a needing a deload, and then we'll see kind of how coach feels about it. But basically, when your body is fighting you this much, it's probably not best, at least in my book, and at least in my experience. And this is why I've lifted the way I have for so many years with great progress and very, very little injury, if any, is because I listen to my body in these times. And this is one of those days where I had to just chalk it up as a lose for that particular day. I lost the battle, but I'm definitely going to win the war. I did talk to my coach between that day and this day, and we went ahead and decided to pull out of the meet, and we're going to go forward with a little bit more of a hypertrophy phase on bench. So that opens me up a little bit for some freedom on legs. I am going to see what we got here. I definitely did a lot of warm-ups before this. Don't think that I just hopped in here, but I wanted to see how my squats felt. Coming off the meet, bench felt great, but then kind of bombed out on me in the last couple of weeks. Legs have treated me differently over the years. Definitely have not put a lot into my legs until recently, so I want to see what we have. And I'm curious, where we're at as a post-meet situation. And a little bit high there, but definitely still tight. I think it was 685, and was pretty happy with that. Definitely was thinking about some better ways to do that lift, but that's the most I've had on my back since the meet. By far, and went ahead and said, you know what, 685 in the gym, at least this close to being after a meet, is a PR. So a post-meet PR being above 700, especially with no spot in a gym, and in this particular gym, I will take it. So went ahead and just said, I'm frustrated, obviously, a little bit from the bench only cycle not panning out the way I was planning. I think it was Mike Tyson who said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, and this is one of those times where you get punched in the mouth, and what do? And so in this case, I'm going to take the smart approach, and I'm going to go back and we're going to address some issues. Definitely do a deload on bench and see where we're at after that. But using kind of my frustration here in a smart way, definitely not maxing out or doing anything stupid. Wanted to just play around, if you will, and I use that term loosely because I'm not playing, but I'm definitely wanting to get some frustration out here in the gym and just see what I can get. And got down there and came up for a single here on 700. Definitely happy with that. Get a little adrenaline rush from it. Lightheaded. So here I'm going to go ahead and break it down. I'm going, let's see, I believe this is 505. And actually that's not the squat bar, I don't believe. Yes, it is. That's my squat bar. So I've got 505 on here and going for a rep PR of 10. And after 3, I was already gassed out. So we're just going to have some fun here. But that is it basically for the video recap. I didn't do deadlifts. Don't think that they're quite ready to ramp up yet. But kind of disappointed. I would definitely be lying if I said I was excited for some reason that the 595 for 3 didn't go off without a hitch this week. Didn't even get to touch my 595. But that just goes to show you, if you heard what I said earlier in the video, my coach was asking me, went 600 for 3 this week, and I knew that something was off. And so I went ahead and said, let's go 595. And even though that's only a 5-pound difference, obviously you could see on the video, didn't even get to 595. So it would have been a disaster had I even tried 600 or even 595. But with all that said, I mentioned last week that I was starting to get some aches and pains, tendonitis in the elbows, kind of in the tricep area, like right in here. A little bit, not biceps so much, but kind of in between, really deep. Definitely need to get some massage work done in there. Been icing a lot, stretching a lot. But I think what is going to be the best course of action at this point is to back off of bench and take the weight considerably lower. We're not going to be working at 600 anymore. That was really only if we're going to ramp up and do a meet. I mean, ultimately, the plan probably would have been something like 595 for 5 or for 3 this week, 620 for 2 the following week, 640 for 2 the following week after that, 660, 670, 690, and then 7. So we've got a really short span of time to do all that in. So that's when we're starting to work with the 600s for reps, is when we're that close to a meet. I think what we're probably going to do is definitely take more of a base building hypertrophy cycle, maybe go do some reps of 8 to 10 and start kind of building up some of that accessory work at the bottom. Definitely main lifts are going to be a lot, some more sets with more reps, just to build some volume and everything. but the weight that I'll be handling will probably be closer to the 400 to 450 range. And that is a considerable drop it's 150 pounds. So I'm definitely going to be dropping the weight to let my body relax a little bit, at least on bench, because legs feel fine. That's kind of a strange way to think of things, but if one body part is ailing you, you can switch and kind of focus on the other body parts to not only get your workout rush in or your workout fix in, but still improve those other lifts while one lift is kind of lagging behind or needs some rest. And I think that's where we're at. I won't be for sure. We're going to take a deload next week, which means we're going to go down considerably in the weight. And if the week after that, or coming out of the deload, if things don't feel better, then we're definitely going to go to an all-out base building phase. If the deload feels good and I just need a little bit of rest, we might be able to salvage something and keep moving forward up this ladder of success, if you will. But it definitely is going to push the meet back, and we're not going to be able to do a meet as soon as I would like, or ideally. But ultimately, it's not about doing the meet or doing 700 at a certain date. It's not that at all. It's about doing it the right way without getting hurt, being able to keep progressing forward, because I truly believe that once 700 is hit, we're going to go forward past that, just like 600. I tried 600 in a meet 9 times before I got it. And if you guys are just now following me, definitely check that out. I am not one to say, I'm going to do something and not go through with it. I am very much the type that if I put my mind to something, I'm going to find a way to get it done or die trying. And, if you go back, I was the guy who came on the scene a few years back in the powerlifting community, and nobody knew who I was. And next thing I know, I'm the next person that's supposed to break 600 pounds. And I was like that for about a year and a half. And everybody was like, this guy's going to go 600 pounds on bench. And I'd get to the platform and I'd go 580, and then I would bomb out with 600. Or I'd get right to 600 and I just wouldn't quite get it. And I did that 9 times. And I believe that there was a lot of people that took the side of, this guy, he's just talking all this mess. He's never going to get 600 pounds. And to me, 600 was 700 at the time in my mind. I'm treating it the same way. And when I finally hit it, I smashed through it like a brick wall. And then I went to 630. And the next thing I know, everybody's saying, road to 700 pounds. So it's been quite a very surreal experience, but it's definitely something I want to share with you guys and going to continue to share with you guys. Being already where I'm at 672, number, I believe, 9 or 10 of all time, regardless of federation, regardless of weight class, regardless of anything, I would die happy if that's all I ever got. But you guys know me. I'm not willing to settle for anything like that, especially if I've got the fight in me, and the fight is definitely in me still to keep pushing and driving and to see what I'm capable of. And I think it's a lot more than I'm able to do right now, that's for sure. But it's a process, and everything that I've preached to you guys, no matter where you guys are at on your strength level, if you're just now getting started or you've been lifting for 50 years or more, everybody has got to face that demon at some point where you're going to reach a level that you're going to have to do something different to get past. And that something different may be different for me, may be different for you. It might be different from me to go from 550 to 600, and then something different to go from 600 to 650 and 650 to 700. It's just, there's not really a protocol, if you will, that everybody can follow, or else everybody be doing it. It's very much a process, but I think that you can learn a lot from other people. I definitely take a lot of things from a lot of different lifters, some of them way, way weaker, if you will, than me, but definitely things that I can use and put in my my bag of tricks, if you will, and the things that I can definitely process and pass on to you guys. But definitely having fun with it. It's part of the process. I actually thrive on the days. I love having PRs and hitting PRs in the gym and feeling great, getting that dopamine rush when you get a new PR. But I really, really like it more when I've failed a few times, because it makes that win so much sweeter. And that's really what keeps me going, because I know what that win tastes like and I want more of it. And that's what keeps a lot of you guys going, is you taste that win, you taste that little bit of success or that record or whatever that is, and you want more of it. Just stay smart in your approach. Don't get so eager to get to that goal, you'll do whatever it takes if it means destroying everything else in your life. that's a bad way to go about it. I think if you can keep going and still balance stuff, it takes longer and you definitely will get there. But when you get there, you'll have everything else that you had before and more, and you didn't destroy everything in the way. So you got your family life, you got your goals, you got your business, you got your job, you got your friends, whatever it is, and you didn't leave all that behind just to shoot your goal. And then once you got your goal and you're standing up there with your trophy or your record, nobody else is around you because you left everybody in the dust. So that's one thing that I think keeps you balanced. Plus, gives you something to do. When you lose in the gym or you lose that battle for that day, you don't go home with your head held low. You have other things to worry about in your life, and that's what keeps you going. It definitely keeps that the adrenaline going, because I can take a few days off, really analyze, oh, I missed this lift, and I may not be able to do what I wanted to do for the next 6 months, but it's really not that bad because I've got all these other cool things that I can do, and I can work on my squats and I can work on my deadlifts a little bit. And I'm actually kind of excited because, yes, I absolutely want a 700-pound bench press, and that's forefront of my goal. But if it means that I've got to put it on the back burner just for a second, like you guys have seen in the past, to kind of work on a few technical issues, work on a few weaknesses, which I'm definitely going to do. But ultimately, I'm giving myself, my body, a chance to rest and recover. Ed Cohen, the greatest powerlifter of all time, at least in my mind, and I think in a lot of you guys' mind as well. If you look at a lot of his old videos, how he trained and how he talks in an interview, he talks about his longevity in the sport. The fact that his records still stand today, the fact of who he is and how he is not because he just went after something with so much tenacity that he left everybody else in the dust and he just accomplished all these cool things. He did it in a way that uplifted others, and not to mention, he did it in a way with very little injury, and he was able to progress and put all of his numbers on the platform because he followed a set protocol. He let his body rest when he needed to rest, and he performed when he needed to perform. A lot of you guys see these Instagram lifters or YouTube lifters, and they're all about sensationalism, and they just they're entertaining, and that's great to some degree, but it's not practical. You're not going to see me in the bench every single day doing a 600-pound bench press. Is it possible? Probably. But after a couple years, I've banged up my body enough, then I'm out the door, and it's going to be the next guy that has to entertain you. I want to be the guy that puts up a consistent number of meat lifts over the course of 5, 10, 20 years, and all of them being top-notch, all-time world record type numbers, either it be in bench, squat, and deadlift. And I definitely want to take down a 700-pound bench. But I don't want to be the guy who comes in one day, puts up a 600 or 672 bench, and then is hurt and then never can perform again and is just a record holder for that one time. I want to be the guy who's in the sport for a long time because I enjoy what I'm doing. I get a lot out of it. I think I can take a lot from it and help you guys as well. But that's kind of my take on it. Sorry for the rant this week, but that's how I look at this whole thing. Is it's a positive because I really think that my failure, if you will, can help a lot of you guys that are probably doing the same thing. You're in there chasing the 315 bench or 225 or whatever the number is, and you've been doing something similar to this, what you just saw on the recap, for week after week after week, and you're wondering what to do. Well, I'm going to tell you the best thing that I think you could do is back down the weight, take some weight off the bar, take at least 1 or 2 plates off, work on getting a solid set of reps in, as many as you can, and then progress each week, not with more weight necessarily, but more reps, until you can build up a foundation that you can stand firm on, and then start pyramiding up again. And you're talking, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road, then start going after those super heavy weights again. And I bet you it'll feel a lot different. You're going to have a lot of time to recover because when you're dealing with less weight, your body's not going to be banged up as much. And you can do a lot with a fresh set of muscles. And right now, I think my muscles are feeling, at least in my bench, are feeling a little bit banged up. And the smart approach here is to back things down. Definitely do a deload, and we'll see what happens going forward. If things don't feel good after the deload, that is 100% chance that we're going to back things down. But stay tuned. Once again, I appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in, subscribed. If you haven't already and you like this video, definitely like it. Subscribe to the channel. I am on Instagram. You can find me over there at SwimHack. You can find me posting daily videos, daily recaps and things. Definitely where the family and I are going, where I'm eating. I'll definitely eat a lot of sushi and burger places and you name it. I post it up there. But if you guys are over there, you can definitely send me a DM with any questions that you have. Please leave a comment below if you have a question. I'm going to start my Q&As up here pretty soon. I'm just kind of wrecked for time, so I don't have a lot of time to go through some things, but I will definitely get back to you guys if you shoot me a DM, shoot me an email at swimhack@gmail.com, or shoot me a DM at swimhack over on Instagram. And I will see you guys next week for the deload. Probably not too exciting, but I definitely want to help you guys out any way I can. See ya.